So on 14 November 2018, we have started our first day. So we have started from the Kandivali. We cycled to the Kandivali station. We took a local train, and with the luggage compartment, we reached to the Churchgate station. From there, we went to the Gateway of India.
Yeah, so before Manali begins her day-to-day journey, so what really happened is when we were trying to prepare the plan, the whole week or the weekends previous to that journey, I did not have any time. So actually, this was Manali's trip that she had planned off day to day. She had done all the route markings as well as booking for the hotels. And what my job was just to carry the cameras, just to carry the cycles. But previous to the final day, what I did was I just jotted down from a few friends. I had a Strava links of a few friends. I just checked their plan, what was their day-to-day hours that they had spent, and what was their mileage, and then I just compared it with what Manali had planned for us, and which was which was something that we found was okay, and we started. So we had our daily plans for on the maps as well of what is to be done on each day. I believe it should load in a minute, but we had our daily plans, and if you can compare my plan, I just had a first day's plan for which we had jotted down 90 kilometers on day one, and from day two it was going down 80 kilometers, then 70 kilometers. So if you see, the plan was about 70 to 80 kilometers per day. And as Manali said, our planning should be robust. So we had a good plan in place, but then we wanted to have our bodies tuned to it. So just before the trip started, there were a couple of weeks there where we started our cycling in a kind of alternate days, because earlier to that we were kind of only weekend cyclists. So just before that, uh, oh, we started going on alternative rides on Gorai and Uttan and Bhayandar, Dahisar, all over the place, along with the groups as well, where we had a good handle on cycling on a daily basis. So on that regard, we did learn the tricks of the trade, like if there is a flat, if the tire punctures off, what has to be done? Can you mend it yourself? If there's any problem with the seat position, if we can get it corrected right away. So we knew most of these cycling nitty-gritties in our repertoire. So that is the reason why we had brought the okay, the screen is back. I think I should join back. So we had our cycling tips and tricks, and some slowly we started off. Both our cycles were tuned for the journey just before a couple of days during the week, during office weeks, and where we had a full service done for our cycles. So we reached the gateway in pitch dark. I think we were about half an hour before time, and our plan was from gateway to Alibag from the ferry, and then Revdanda Fort, Kurlai, Kashid, Murud, and Nagadanda. On this front, we had done a couple of journeys earlier as well. With I had done one with Manali and then one with the group where me, Nilesh, Sujit, and Kapil had gone to Kurlai Fort. So we were quite confident of this part of the journey, and uh, this is the place where I can see the moon shimmering onto the bay, the Arabian Sea. So here, the main point of the journey, highlight of the journey was I could see the moon, and in the same trip, I could see the sun as well. So we got down on the other side as well. This is just a screen grab from our YouTube channel where I was showing that people were giving us enough distance while passing, because that's very important for the cyclist to pass from a distance. Otherwise, there's a lot of risk involved in cycling. So here you can see this is another screen grab I got from for Manali from my YouTube channel. We don't have a lot of pictures in this route. Finally, the plan here, there was a kind of a incident here. We had planned to just drink some coconut juice and continue our journey because there was many kilometers planned for the first day, and wanted to have our breakfast directly at Kashi. But our coconut water wala was not giving us the coconut water, and we were very much upset that we had wasted I think 10 minutes in trying to get the coconut water. So we've just chucked that idea. We went ahead, and this is something that we ate at Revdanda, and will be interesting for you guys. So I just put in the picture of misal pav as well. So once we were refueled with misal pav, this is
Why he didn't give you coconut?
I think he was busy in refueling his. It was morning hours, so he was not. He had not fully opened a shop, and he was busy in getting the coconut and his shop set up. So in that regard, he did not give us preference, and we were quite a bit. It's kind of a two-way where from our side we were in a hurry that we have about 50 more kilometers to cover, and that was why we just blew up and just went out on our way. So nothing that was wrong from his side, but he was also busy and we were also in a hurry. So this is the part after Revdanda Fort where you can see the Korlai Fort as well. The Korlai Fort is kind of an island with just one way entry. Uh, and this is where we end up at the other side of it. So this is the Korlai Fort starts from here and ends till here. And here there's a lot of traffic in this regard because we join the main road which comes from Mumbai as well towards Kashid. So there was a lot of traffic in this part as well. After a brief while, we landed up at a coastal route. This is the first photo of a route which is just next to the sea. So, I did not know that this was in store for the next 5 days, though our plan was coastal cycling. I thought it would be just a couple of moments that we'll get on the sea. So this is where we got the photo, and finally, I think it was a good 11:30. So we reached Kashid. Kashid, as we see, there's a tourist spot. All the weekend travelers come to Kashid quite frequently. Yeah. Yeah. So many weekend travelers come to Kashid and Murud from that road, and that's when we started to refuel ourselves and take a break from the cycle and get the water bottles refilled. So before that, I'll just talk a bit of the setup that we had on the cycle because this is the first photo with the whole cycle and the setup. The cycle needs to have for the touring section, a touring bike. We need to have broader tires. So our mountain bikes were good for that. But we need to carry a pannier rack or pannier cycle as well as the rack which is mounted onto the cycle. We did not get this pannier rack at the same store. We visited a few Decathlon stores where we had to search for all these kind of equipments and things. So after visiting many stores, we finally had our setup ready. The other challenge that we had was because our cycles are of different brand than the Decathlon store bikes. Uh, they were incompatible. So somehow we managed to get some screws and kind of Allen bolts and attach it to our cycle. So yeah, it was a last minute stretch. So this is Manali who is sitting onto that this thing, and this is me who is just relaxing because in long distance on a cycle, we know how refreshing and relaxing it is to get off and sit on something else. Okay, so I take it forward a bit quickly from now on because there are a lot of days that I'll need to cover. So a few joys while going on. We were, there was a huge herd of sheep that stopped the traffic while going. This is their screen grab. And once the incline starts, we see the sea to the right. This is kind of a rolling terrain where we have to climb on mountains and then get off mountain and climb off the mountains. And again, that cycle starts. Okay, we call it as a rolling terrain as against flat terrain where we don't have any incline or any climb. So this is on the top part of one of the hills where we see a good structure. I'm not sure the name of the structure, but we had seen this earlier as well. And after this, it was a direct downhill onto the Murud Janjira Fort. This thing. So I think most of us will recognize this place which is coming up next. This is called as Patil Khanawar, and we got beautiful food here. I got my veg food here, and the next I think Manali had also enjoyed her food, and this was her plate with some fish curry and all. So it was quite refreshing. After that, again, we did not have time to relax or sit down at the same place. So because of there were the last part we found from the map had a good incline, and we are not yet till the last part. And one more point that I missed in the beginning was there was a ferry after Murud that we had to catch in order to go to the other side, and we did not want to keep it to the next day because again waiting for the ferry and the ferry going on at its own time, we would have lost crucial morning hours where the cycling is the most fun. So we made a beeline after food for the ferry. That ferry is at Agardanda, about 8 kilometers from our place, from Murud Plaza where we had food on the Patil Khanawar. And can anybody guess this fort?
I think everybody gets this food.
Yeah, so this is Murud Janjira Fort, and these are a few pics that we grabbed here. So that's me finally. That's Manali. Me. Uh, this was I think this is a historical place which we come across while going. And it is mentioned in Ashutosh Bijur's blog of cycling to Murud Janjira, but we missed the name of this place as well. So this was on way while going to Agardanda. So that's before Agardanda jetty, and Agardanda jetty is around 4 kilometers. Yeah. So the next part is the actual ferry boat. We went on time. The ferry boat was supposed to start at 2:30, and we reached there about 2:50. So we were in a good hurry. And as you can see, they were trying to cram as many vehicles as possible onto the Ro-Ro service. So this is ride on, ride off kind of a service. This is called a Ro-Ro ferry, and we had to wait for the bigger vehicles to first take positions, and then our cycles were given the last preference because they were easily adjustable in any corner. So after this part where we finally boarded the ferry, it took about to I think to the Dighi side of it. The ferry takes even the bus. If you can see this photo, there's a bus as well here. So because the ferry was houseful, there was no shade, and we were totally exposed to sunlight and sapped uh, while sitting there. So from 3 to 4, it took about 1 hour for the ferry to go to the other side and get off the ferry, and we were quite tapped and parched on the noon sunlight. We had a quick, I think it was there was some ice cream wala and we had a quick gola. We did not waste time on that. And then I don't have the photos after this for this day, uh, because we had a quick conversation with the person who was inside this car, and we were just complaining, oh, the road was all opened up, it was rolling. And he said, okay, so I don't think you guys know the road on the other side. And that was the funny part, because the other side was all inclined. And it was funny because that was a major challenge, as we wanted to reach Divyagar, which was again about 10 to 15 kilometers from on the other side. And there was a good uphill that we had to, I think is about 100 to 130 meters of incline that we had to do. And it was the same distance in terms of length as this ferry boat, so around 2 kilometers and 100 meters. So we were totally sapped, and the challenge was to reach before the light is gone out, because we were doing this in the winter months. At 5 o'clock is your final bell, and you just quit at 5:30. The light goes off in one moment. So this is at the hotel that I was looking at my resting heart rate. The resting heart rate is has spiked up on Saturday. So this will be the rest of the day. Okay. So we booked a good hotel at the end of day one. This was a huge hotel where we parked our cycles and then ate up to a very nice place just next to the Divyagar beach. So this is Manali's plate. This is my plate. I think we had the same food on that day.
Not so. I fish.
Okay, so Manali is clarifying that she had fish. So this is the final summary. We had planned 90 kilometers, and you can see the Strava map shows about 91 kilometers. So we did reach our target, and then we just wound off and started off to the next day.
So next day we started early. We carry some dry snacks, that is puran boli with us. That was really savior for us because in the morning there is no shop is open. Even the hotel is not providing any breakfast facility in the morning. So we ate and we started early at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so it was again utter darkness, but we were quite confident that starting early will give us an edge for the rest of the day, because the rolling terrain was getting a good amount of gradient. So this is me and Manali in the darkness. This was the Divyagar road, which goes parallel to the beach. In the darkness, the couple of things that we were very much afraid of was dogs, but there were none here. So I think we went earlier than the dogs could even start off. So this is the next spot is where we ended.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry for this, but how was the accommodation? Was it a commercial hotel or it was homestay or you had some jugaad?
No, I have booked all the hotels previously because the road is small villages are there, so we have to find the proper hotels because we have to charge our accessories like videos and everything. So I have booked all the proper hotels.
Okay, cool.
So just a continuation to what you said, there are people who would go on a fully self-supported ride as well, where they carry their own tents and then they stay. But this was kind of a self-supported, and in that sense that we did not have any support vehicle. But at the end of each journey, we did have a place to crash, and hotel booked at 12, and that proved as a good motivation as well, because we had to reach the booked accommodation place at the end of each ride, at the end of each day. So otherwise, you can if there's no motivation to reach up target for the day, then you can just call it quits if it's 4 o'clock and do some loitering around in time pass and all. So that proved out as a good motivation that we have already put some money inside and then we should reach the spot. So I'll continue on that on the second day. So the day two is somewhere that um, this is, if you can see, this is after riding about 3 kilometers in the start of the day, and the day is not yet begun. The headlight of the scooter is still illuminating the path. After just 100 or 200 meters of this photo, I think Manali's cycle chain went off the rails and it got stuck between the crank. Crank is where the pedals are, the chain ring of the pedal, between the chain ring and the bottom bracket, and it was not coming out. And this is where I think the
We thought
hell
this is
broke
our
loose.
end of our trip now. So it is totally stuck. Uday got literally frustrated, saying, "अरे तुझे gear change करने नहीं आ रहा है. What are you doing and all?" And it totally got stuck. So we have decided अभी इधर से तो वापस जाना ही पड़ेगा. फिर उदय ने गुस्से से उसको निकालने का ट्राई किया और फाइनली इट केम.
Yeah, so I think even before that point, I tried to shimmy it off for 5 minutes. I had a spanner as well. So in the pannier rack, I had carried a huge number of equipments and spare tubes and pumps and whatnot. But the only thing missing in my pannier rack was a chain tool and a chain link, which actually is when your chain breaks. If your chain breaks, you can remove one piece of the link and get the chain link, which is a temporary setup, done, and then continue. And we did not have that, nor did I have any knowledge of that. So we were at that point. If the chain was the only thing we were vulnerable on, otherwise I was covered on the whole cycle, and that I had gone stuck. And for 10 minutes, I think after frustration, I took the spanner and a huge rock and started banging the chain out of that bottom bracket. And finally, we said, okay, there's nothing to lose. If we can only go back or directly to the village on a ST bus, let's try our luck. And somehow it got unstuck or loose. So that was kind of a luck. And then we continued on the climbs. So this is on the right hand side of that photo, there was a hill, and we are on the other side of the hill now. So, and we had gained a lot of, quite a bit of height where we can see the fishing village as well. Below us, all the boats were parked. So we took a few snaps as well. Yeah, anybody has a question? So this is the incline part. You can see Manali is just below the incline. I am trying to go up the incline and trying to wait for Manali to catch up. And the funny thing that started happening was that there was an old man who was walking on a steady pace. You can see in this photo just behind Manali. So he was, we were trying to do a incline on a cycle on the lowest gear, so it has to have the most traction. And um, we were quite slow in the incline, and this guy, he was quite aged, and but he was overtaking us frequently, and then we were trying to get our breath together and cycle again and overtake him. So he was kind of a pacemaker for us. And this is the next part. The inclines on such village roads are relentless. We don't get any part where we rest ourselves. So I think let me wait for the picture to load. Yeah. So here, if you can see, Manali is going across the road. So this is where, when the incline is getting too tough, what we do is we go crisscross across the road, zigzag, as you can say, so that we break the incline into a longer stretch, and it would be easier on our bikes and on us as well. I mean, mostly on us. So this is where we reached another top part. Why this photo is important is I could see the ocean from here. I'm not sure if this is visible in this photo. the ocean is somewhere at my eyesight location, where my goggles are. So the photo, because of the photo resolution, I think that's not very evident, but there's where my eye level are. And then it was straight up downhill to the next part there, till we reached, a good amount of place. So the plan that we had is regarding going from Divyagar beach. Most of the beaches were lined up on day two, where RV beach, Srivardhan, Harihareshwar, then Keshi, Ade, Savane, all these are beaches, and not many from Mumbai go to this place, but we saw many people coming from Pune side on these beaches. So because it's very accessible for them on weekends, the Puneites have this as their favorite destination for family. So this is the stretch where we were parallel to the very white sand beach for about couple of kilometers, and we had a good amount of photography here. Me taking Manali's videos and photos, and Manali taking my videos. And then again, after a bit of a climb, we came to a view where we could see the next village inside. And the villages are very much rustic and peculiar, where they have smoke billowing out of their cooking utensils, where they use in the morning to heat the water. So we could see this scene just before every village and on each morning, and it was very nice and uh, peaceful to see that. A quick break, yeah. So this is Srivardhan. We reached Srivardhan, where we had a breakfast break, and I could not catch the photo of the other guys, but there were a few families that found us amusing that we are going all the way to Devgad on cycles, and I think one of the aunties, right, and they started taking our photos, and they were amused that we as Indians are also doing that, because for them it was only the foreigners who do such trips. It was nice experience for us. And then again, once we started off, we had to pass Harihareshwar before. Again, there was a ferry section. Uh, each day we had a ferry to catch, so we did not want to waste time, and we wanted to reach the ferry point at the earliest of times. So uh, there were a couple of ghats as well. So if you can see from this photo, what we thought is the rolling terrain itself will be something that will be very much it. But once we saw this board, it is saying Savdhan Pude Ghat Rasta Ahe Savkash Ja, and we were just looking at each other and saying, okay, so what we were doing was not a ghat. I mean, that much tired we were to find this quite interesting. And actually, the real incline started when such board comes, and this is where the vehicles were overtaking us, because we had a huge amount of climb to do at each point. So at top of the point, either me or Manali used to reach ahead, and then we used to take a brief break for each other, and then refuel as well. So that is how I was while waiting for Manali. So this is the photo after each climb, that you have no energy and you just crash out of. No, you're just, the daylight goes out of you. So finally, after going through that incline, we reached the ferry boat, the Shanta Durga. I think I have this. Yeah, this is Bagh Mandla jetty. Yeah. So this will go to the other side. You can see the other side. There's a few mountains on the other side, and we have to take a left to on the other side and reach on top of those mountains. Okay. So once we started off from our journey, that's me who is trying to keep our cycles onto the left side of the uh, ferry boat and move ahead. I'll just wait for the screen to refresh. Yeah. So this was another ferry where we started off, and the uh, boat took I think for this section the ferry boat only took about 15 minutes because the width of the river was not that much. But the earlier boat had taken half an hour ferry boat the day before. So I don't have the set of photos where we climbed the hilltop from that section. But if you can see this photo, this is a good gap of 1 hour between these two photos because in the middle of that section, the road is quite, this is the tar road on the other section, but the earlier section, the road had come out and we did not have a good traction. So it was a huge pain for us to reach on top. And we thought that we had reached a good height and had a quick break as well, and wherein we ate puran poli. But even the puran poli, we could not. I at least I had a hard time in digesting because of the hydration, because I had got off my hydration levels quite quickly. So the main point here is you can see the road is still at an incline, and that is visible only by the stepped the retaining walls on the road side. You can see they are not in a single line, they are stepped up. So that's how you can judge the incline of the road here. So that's Manali going on our merry way. On the other side, however, we got a good view as well. Now that the core villages were starting to show their natural beauty. So here I was showing Manali a few spots. This was quite very nice, and we could see a few fishes as well as birds perched on those trees as well. That's the view that I was trying to ask Manali to check out. But after a few rides, there are many such culverts or small bridges over streams that we had to cross. This is just a next stream after just 10 to 15 minutes from there, and people were doing fishing here as well. I think that I have that in my video, but people were fishing at this place. Now the main point here I want to come is this is where we noticed that we had entered the Ratnagiri district. So if you know the Konkan region between Mumbai and Goa, there are three districts: Raigad, Ratnagiri, and Sindhudurga. Our aim was to reach on the Sindhudurga, Devgad, which is on the top of the Sindhudurga district, the first part of the Sindhudurga district. So we were amused that we started on the Ratnagiri district on day two itself, and then that continued for around 3.5 more days. Many points in that journey where we could not find any place where food was ready or food was according to what we had, and we had to make do with something that we had the hotel had to offer. Like at this point we just had this
Keep our lunch that time, and we ate only vada pav at something 4 o'clock.
right. So this is where I think vada pav or some bhaji pav was eaten, and then kokam sarbat. But the kokam sarbat was very good, and I think this is enlisting all its good things. But I think we enjoyed that. Again, a few climbs where we were not knowing. If you can see, the road conditions is not that flat. There were frequent potholes, and it was rubble and gravel everywhere. And the ST bus is coming at quite a good amount of speed and trying to avoid this slowest person Manali. Slowest person as in the cyclist being the slowest person on the road. So the ST bus is taking a good amount of distance and then avoiding Manali as well. and coming on to. So this is the you can notice your the kilometers marking are not there in this milestone board because the highway is marked and the maintenance happens quite a few times. There are old markings as well. So this is, I think, very much old where it's not giving any kilometers. Then there are old boards where kilometers are there, but we cannot trust them because now new roads have come up. And then yeah, so we were on Google Maps most of the times, and we had it set. So this is Kirishi to Ade beach. Yeah, so this is Kirishi to Ade bridge. Ade is another village which was very nice. At this end, I think this is day two, where we wanted to reach Savne Anzarle uh, part. And this is just, I think, we were trying to approaching 5 o'clock, and we had it was about 5-10 kilometers to that place. So we thought of taking a few photos and doing a few poses with the cycles, and very nice green views that you can see, the creeks, the sea and the creeks coming in, and the tides coming in and out. So it was kind of a view to take in, rather than our normal views. So an interesting village that we saw in the middle. If you can spare, pronounce that name of that village, it's called Padle. So, so the next one, the Padle beach was very nice because it was going parallel to the seashore, and it had white sands, and the road was, exactly on the beach road. So, for about 2 kilometers, we were riding just on parallel to the sea, and a few photos of what was, it like. So I mean, most of us see this photos, on a very different light. But once you are there, it's a whole new experience. The sea breeze, and it takes, even if you are tired, you don't feel it once the breeze of the sea hits you. Yeah. So this is all the end of day two. I'll have to hasten up because I have a couple of more days to go. So this is Savne Anzarli, this Whistling Waves resort, where we were the only two people who were there on that day, and they had a private access to that beach, and they're on private this thing. The beach was quite secluded because the Whistling Wave Resort was not in any village, but outside the village. And yeah, these are a few shots where it just comes out, the beauty comes out. And the beach was for us, it was just me in Manali, and in couple of kilometers, and the width of the beach was around 200 meters. So that's Manali playing with who are these? So she found Moana in the beach, and she got Moana on the beach. And this is the first time I think we got the uh, the drone outside the box, and we and don't think I have. Yeah, I have a few shots of the drone. So this is Manali, who is riding on to off to into the sunset on that beach. And for food, we had I think veg thali. What was it?
Veg and non-veg both we have to order previously. So I ordered in the morning what we want, and they have people prepare accordingly.
So I think day two was 70 kilometers, and you can see quite a lot of creeks, the road going in and out before we could even end up. Okay, so this is day three. Do I have the plan of day three now? Day three again was about 70 kilometers, 65 to 70 kilometers to cover. So this is the uh, Anzarle Harnai bridge that we are on. And on at the fag end of the bridge, you can see that it's just going uphill. Okay. Yeah, this is the photo where it comes out, where you have to go uphill at the end of the bridge. So what I had a quick idea, because you have to actually go onto that mountain top that is visible onto just ahead of us, in order to go onto the other side. But I saw of us right on the right hand side, just after end of the bridge, there was a road going into the village. So I just saw it in Google Maps, and that road again was joining the main road after the village ends. So I thought, why to climb the mountain, and let's go to through the village. So that's wherein we took a detour from our set plan, and we went off on that road, which was bypassing the mountain. And this is us. This is me just trying to catch a photo. And, yeah, this is there is a island fort here which is visible in that photo coming up next. So I wanted you all to guess which fort that is, and this is just, I think, day three from Mumbai. I think this is Harnai village.
Suvarnadurga.
Harsha.
Sorry, come. Did you guess it right? Yeah.
Is that
So
Suvarnadurga fort?
yeah, perfect. So this is Suvarna Durga Fort. So Suvarna Durga Fort is basically where Kanoji Angre grew up, be a force to reckon with. So this is Suvarna Durga Fort that we were passing. We did not know it earlier, but I think when we reached that fort and when we saw this huge structure, we from Google Maps we came to know that that is Suvarna Durga. So going ahead, there were a few bullock carts on the road, because we were not on the main road. The bullock cart was something that the villagers were using. So this is okay. Let me just get this out of the way. Perfect. Yeah. So from Sauni Anjali, Harnai Beach, Palande Beach, Karde Beach. So these are actually villages, and villages which are next to beaches. So I just named the beaches here. So day three as well was along with beach that we had to go ahead. Why I was amused of this road was because everyone, there were no vehicles on this in this village, the Harnai village. It was all bullock carts who were doing all the work. And at one point of time, I saw 5 bullock carts one after the other going ahead. So I called it. I nicknamed it as a bullock cart highway. It was only meant for the bullock carts to do the transit on that part. So after coming out of that village, we joined the main road again, which was a good tar road and wide road, which is actually the NH4 which goes again. So our plan was to avoid the NH4 and do the coastal route as much as possible and go off the NH4. So NH4 is quite wide, and it a good vehicular movement going towards Goa. Is it NH4 or SH4? It's NH4. And again, with NH4, I think it is Maharashtra State Highway 66 as well, which goes parallel. So the State Highway 66, this is the State Highway 66, and we tried to go off the road. So this is something again, we did not want to go much inland and trying to get inwards to the coastal towns and coastal beaches. So at one point of time, we just got lost in one of the villages, but somehow from Google Maps we uh, came out of those villages. So this is us trying to take the narrow roads out of that village, and it's not even a good tarred road. It's cobbled road. I think put together with laterite. Just wait for the photo to load. Yeah. So that's Manali on that laterite road. These are some inner routes which were not planned in our road, but like on the fly we tried to miss going more inland and get out of uh, from the beaches to beaches only. Next part was Karde Beach. This was again from Karde Beach, looking at dolphins with their binoculars that we were looking, but we could not spot any because we did not have binoculars and the sea was very far away from our view. But amusingly, we saw a few cyclists as well.
We did breakfast here, and the owner of that hotel said that you can take the shortcut by directly from the beach.
So the owner of this breakfast outlet, he was telling us that rather than going from the road, you can get down onto the beach and ride on the cycle. That's a very nice thali pit that they made in, I think, 10 minutes from ground up. So he said, I daily take my two-wheeler onto the beach and get out from the other side. But that going onto that road proved to be very difficult for us because of the reason that the heat and the humidity on a beach is very different from inlands. We get ourselves fogged up very quickly, and it was too much to handle on a noon that we were doing it. But having said that, we saw a few nice things here where the water was inside. We saw natural fish tank. These are a few crabs which are going on, and it was very nice. So this is me going off road and the whole cycle going inside the water. You can see I'm trying to zoom in with my cell phone. That's Manali. We're trying to catch a glimpse of the seagulls. There was a huge flock of seagulls, which was amusing for us to see. But the beach was not joining the road for a few kilometers. I think we rode around 5 kilometers, 3 to 5 kilometers on the beach and could not locate our outlet to go back to the road. And we had no option but to stick to the beach. So this is us going to the Rocky Beach as well. Yeah, just skip that part. So at the end of that journey, uh, all the sand got stuck inside our chains and the whole lubrication that is needed. So this is the drivetrain part of the cycle, which has to be spick and span and should be well lubricated. But because of the sand and the grit that got stuck onto the lubricants went off and the chain started squeaking.
And literally, we have started struggling with this.
So this is Ladghar part. So finally, yeah, anybody had a question? Yeah, so we finally reached Ladghar, and from Ladghar, we had to again go inwards. This was a beautiful section because it had something called Suruchi Zada, which was kind of a very beach kind of feeling that would come with them. After a few shortcuts, we went on to the other side. It was called, I think, Tamas Tirtha beach, and these pebbles are red color. And it was very, I mean, this is some outlet of a river, so these are the sediments coming out, and the pebbles are very much red in color instead of the the sand. So this is Tamas Tirtha beach that we landed up on, and finally we could join the main road on that from that beach. Okay, so after that, from Tamas Tirtha beach, we see a climb which was called, I think, Parshuram.
Parshuram statue, Parshuram Bhumi.
So Parshuram Bhumi was the next stop, but it was at the mountain top, and the village route again was not helping. So finally we reached the top of the climb, and this is some I think a museum. Yeah, so this was closed and we could not visit this, but we got a good photos. This is a awesome statue of Parshuram, and this is at the top of the mountain. It's huge. We had a good photo session onto that as well with that. Okay, so remember I mentioned there was another group which was going parallel to us, which we saw on that day. I think that was the only day that we bumped onto them. So these people had one fellow who was far off or behind them, but they were happy going off without him. So we were trying to check on where this fifth fellow was, but anyways, we moved on as well. So the next village that caught us was Panchanadi. This was at the base or the valley part of those towns, and you can see that there are storks, and I could spot a few fishes in the water as well. It was quite clear compared to the other water as well. Bits of photography in that after coming down, but the day was kind of a we had few uphills and downhills as well. So this is again at the start of uphill. This is on the Panchanadi village. We had a halt after this bus stop. So this is a bus stop, bus thamba as they call in the village, and we till the next bus thamba it was still uphill, and on the next bus stop we took a break and again ate our food that we had packed. So the one thing that you should note is if you can pack anything you should, because you don't get anything when you require. I mean, it's only when you cross villages, and since we were taking the coastal route, not many villages were there where we could end up in the market. So I don't have the photo of that one, but after this one, where when we had food on that bus stop, on an incline there were a few cattles which are not moving, and I was quite afraid of that. And one villager spotted us, and he called us inside his house and offered us the whole pot of water, because we were out of water. I think every day we were getting out of water during inclines, and we had to think of where to buy the water. The villager offered us the pot of water, and he gave us insight on uh, he also used to cycle, and there was one part that he had come to his village on a cycle. The main highlight was of the journey was the people were very helpful. They were outgoing to us as well, and even the kids were waving, and every time that we passed some kids, they were waving out and trying to call us out while cycling. So this is me reaching the Dabhor jetty. So this is the Dabhor jetty. You can see uh, uh, some activity going on in the distance, some industrial activity. But by the time I reached this, we reached this ferry. The ferry had gone, so we took ice creams here because there was nothing else available, and we ate I think three ice creams and at a stretch before the next, and that was considered as our lunch. So that we did not again stop anywhere. So this is me eating some ice cream, and there are a few fishes here as well. Once I threw ice cream, they were flocking. So the Dhopwe side of it, again, we have a climb called Anjan Vale climb, where I haven't had a good screenshot, but this is the Anjan Vale climb that we had to go take up from Verdur. So again, another top part where we were happy that finally we have climbed on it. Probably it was the last part of climbing for the day, for the third day. And after this was Guhagar, where we had again booked a place. But after doing a descent from that part, instead of reaching Guhagar, uh, I was amused that I we reached a fort. So instead of reaching Guhagar, we reached Pratapgarh, because I think uh, there was a miniature replica of Pratapgarh in the village, and we just were amused to see that. This is just next to the road. Okay, so going ahead, finally we reached Guhagar, but there was a slight problem on the I think the booking as well.
So actually, I booked the hotel from the phone only. So it was a homestay, and they are just it was on book on phone call only. I have not paid anything because they said you can come directly. And what happened when when we reached there? The man is not picking a call. No one is there at their property. So again, we have wasted about 10 to 15 minutes, and we have left from their place, and we went in a search of new hotel.
So after a good amount of searching, there was one guy who called us and said, "Okay, I have." He saw us, searching for searching internet and searching for places, and we were next to a eatery. He said, "We have the hotel upstairs as well." So we saw the rooms and we checked it out, and it was all okay. And but we asked him that our cycles, we don't want to park it outside. If you are willing to, make some arrangement for our cycles, then it's fine. It's all good. So interestingly, he was also a cyclist, and he had kept his own cycle inside a room, and he let us keep our cycles inside that room as well. This is the food for the day. And an interesting fact, Guhagar, there's a hotel called Annapurna, which is very much known for fish thali. But
That day Sankashti was there, so I ate only more fish.
that was the predicament for Manali. So where we had actually reached a hotel known for fish thali, and she could not eat. So this is the day three end where we had 65 kilometers done, and after 65 kilometers on day four, the hotel owner tried to help us out. He was asking us to go by the other route, where there was another route inland. I think this was State Highway 66 that he was trying letting us to follow, but we were hell bent on going from the coastal route only, though the road was quite good. But we did not, repent that decision because of the views that were there. So again, if you even on day four, you can see that he is marking a ferry boat inside that. So every day we had to make a beeline for a ferry boat, and then once we crossed to the other side, we had to make a beeline for our hotel stay because we had booked it for. So this is this. I think just before this, after going off Guhagar, there was a huge 200 meters, I think, and we started at quarter to six in pitch dark on that incline, and quite interesting things that we heard from the bushes just next to us while doing the cycle climb, which kept us going. We just kept paddling and kept turning the pedals, so that we reached on top of that climb. The weather assisted us because at pitch dark it is November, so it was winter, and the body which heats up during June, the weather assisted us trying to get it. So we had it out even before sunrise, a good amount of incline of 200 meters done even before the sun had come out. So this was the uh, view. You can see it's all red because it's dawn. So I think this is the Palshet village that we were trying to approach, and the morning, again the village houses billowing white smoke. There were a few drone shots that I had done. So these were some just some drone shots that we had time to do because we had started early. And this is the part where this was the photo where in a section which was of dense forest. So you can see the sunlight just trying to breach the woods and coming out. There were quite some sections where we had no trees, and there were a few sections where we could not. There were so many trees that we could not see any sunlight, and it was getting dark during the afternoon because of the tree cover. So this is towards Hedvi temple, and after there were a few valleys, and then from valleys we reach a kind of a tabletop land as well, which did not have which was all burnt up and which did not have a good tree cover. So from this day onwards, whenever we used to reach on the hilltop, it was kind of a huge deal because it was sun beaming on us, and no tree cover for us. So we were needed to be covered fully. You can see Manali from the far off, trying to catch. Yeah, so this is the Hedvi Ganpati temple that we reach. It's quite famous because it's a Jagrut Devasthan. So we made it a point to go in, and we went in turn by turn because we wanted to take care of our cycles. Yeah. Okay, so after this part, again we had something to eat. This was a good hotel, and this is upma. We had upma there, and it was sumptuous. After that, those inclines. So again, as we saw, we wanted to reach the ferry. I think the Tausar jetty was something that we were trying to make a beeline, and went to Jaigarh. But there was a incline again even before reaching the jetty, and this was Manali. You can see Manali at this top. This is at the middle of the incline, and she was all spent of energy and not trying to come up. So that's the road that comes from behind. Even from behind her, you can see the incline of the road. So finally, we reached at the top of that section as well. So it's kind of a go up, go down, go up, go down. And whenever you go up, you don't see any trees or any cover. So here, Manali is trying to get the shade of that hoarding where it was the kilometers were marked and the direction was marked. And Manali is trying to just grab hold on that 2 meters of shadow that is available for us. So this is the Tausar ferry. This is ride in, ride off again, ride on, ride off, and this is the Jaigarh part side of it. So you can see the timestamp. I think by 12 we were on to the other side. The other side had a good amount of incline that had to be done, and these are the cycles that were parked. And this is me. On the other side, I was all spent of energy and I could not. Sorry, there was a question. Yeah, so this is me being spent, and Manali took a photo of me trying to rest. There was a shade for a bus stop, and I took that opportunity to just lie down, and it knocked the lights out of me. Even though the whole bus stop was made of patra and it was radiating heat, but I said that all the energy was gone, so the lights went off and I started snoring. But again, then we were off to our merry way. And you can see these roads were amazing. I mean, the greenery on one side and the beaches on the other side. It's something that can be only experienced. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do justice even by showing this and trying to dictate what was the experience all about. This is me trying to grab a amazing snap and trying to direct Manali of how I wanted the snap of one. Yeah, but all I mean is visible is my tummy here in this photo instead of my epic peak that I wanted. Yeah, this is another, I think, Undi Beach. Yeah, this is Undi Beach that happened, and uh, it's something that every village is having a different layout of how they have the beachfront. Here, the road is just next to the beach, so they have a good retaining wall, just like what we have in marine lines. They have a retaining wall here, and the water during the sea water during the high tide can come and dash against it. So it will be quite a sight if we do this in the rainy season. Yeah. So again, we reach on top of another climb here. Wherever there are no photos, that means we were all spent up of energy while trying to make that incline. So this is us reaching the top, and this is yeah, this is what Arevare. Bhandarpure. This is Bhandarpure, I think, just before Arevare. Arevare is next after the next beach. So this is Bhandarpure, where the beach was just below us and we were on a good height. And this is an open cut where we had to go through towards Arevare. Can see the photos of, so that road is quite at a height, and it goes for a few kilometers as well, where you can see the beach just below you instead of you next to you. There was a temple here, I think.
That is the famous temple Ganpatipure. So we skipped that temple.
So there was a Ganpatipure temple, but because of time, we skipped that temple. And again, I think that's Manali waiting for. Yeah, she's trying to rest up because she's all spent of energy during this incline. So one peculiar thing again happens during incline here is that whenever there was a rickshaw going uphill, we used to wait to hear the sound of that rickshaw, because once it reaches the crest, the sound of the engine goes in a different way, and it starts to accelerate instead of going in a very slow pace. So that is where you realize that the climb is done. But so always we used to wait when a rickshaw used to come, and used to hear if the sound, the slow sound of the engine continues for a long time, or it speeds up. If it continues, then we have a good amount of incline in front of us. So this is again coming down from the incline, and you can see the height that we had to gain and lose every time we had to go through a mountain pass here. That's Manali on the left, trying to make a descent, and we were all going full speed when we were doing downhills. So finally, at the end of the day, just at sunset, we reached that ATC, Samartha ATC, where we had booked for the 4th day, the stay for the 4th day. But since it was sunset, I directly went to the beach before even going to the hotel, because I wanted to capture a few photos. So the sun went out in a couple of minutes after approaching that. But I think we had a trick up our sleeve, because we had Sujit's drone. That is me trying to, prime up the drone. And this is the shot. So even after the sun had set on us, the drone, once it went up, we could see the sun again. These are a few drone shots that I had marked up. So this is Haribari Beach. It's amazing beach that one can step foot on, and it's kind of this drone is at a very good height, but the expanse of the beaches are amazing. So back again at the hotel, there were two Alsatian dogs who welcomed us. They just pounced on us. I think I went ahead, and these were welcoming dogs. So I just waited for them to pounce on when Manali showed up, and that's what happened. Both of them just greeted Manali, and Manali did not know how to act. That was a very funny situation. So these were very friendly, and since they were used to visitors coming to their place, um, it was no big deal for them. But this was a mother and daughter combination, the Alsatian dogs. So again, on the fourth day, this is the summary. I think 67 kilometers done, and a good 6 hours of riding. And this is the moving time. This is not the actual start to end time. So the actual start to end time would be 12 hours. This was the room where we were put up. This is Samarthya Agro Tourism Company, and they had a good cook as well. So we had a sumptuous dinner as well. So this is the me in the morning getting ready. That is the hut that we were home that we had put up. Okay, on the other side, I think only 2 days are left now. Yeah. So this is the morning sunrise that we were very much thankful that it was just rising up as we approached the bridge, because the drone shots are amazing. I think this is one of the screenshots from the drone, and that's how it looked on the drone. Also, this is the Lal Dabba bus, ST bus. And then a few other shots and different angles with Manali. So the water during morning hours is quite gentle and stable. There's no wind there. These are different things altogether to view and take in. So Ratnagiri happened on the Ratnagiri. This is the Ratnagiri lighthouse, and not which is the bridge.
Bhattiya Bridge.
This is the Bhattiya Bridge, which is which marks the entry to the Ratnagiri city. River. So again, bypassing all that, this is the dargah which is inside the river. So again, wherever we had the opportunity, we flew the drone, and we got to give shots on the drone as well. So finally, during the last ultimate day, we approached holding, which was. Is there a question? I think I heard a question. No. Yeah. So this is the first hoarding which marked Devgarh onto that, and it was a kind of a injection of energy, because of the we never saw Devgarh on a hoarding, so that meant that we were very near. This is 66 kilometers from now, so still 1.5 day of cycling to go. And this is again when reaching after the top, the wind gets knocked out during the noon hours, and I used to have a nap every time I used to see any bus stop or bus thamba with winds. This is Manali doing some tricks and taking photographs of me sleeping. And from after Googling, we saw a hotel. I think Manali was the one who was searching for the hotel, and she saw that there's a hotel downstream. And it was an awesome hotel because it was just the road was between two ponds, and it was overlooking the water. It was kind of a backwater feel for it, and we saw many birds while sitting inside the hotel and having food. So bird watching was thrown in free for us from the gallery.
Where was this, Uday? Which place?
This is on the way from Gaokhadi to the Jaitapur road, right?
Mm.
In between Gaokhadi to Jaitapur.
So I mean, the village. I think that was a bit nondescript one. There was just one college, and you can see those college kids eating food as well. So finally, at the end of this time, we had 40 kilometers to go. But this board is kind of a bit of misleading because they've got, though it is 40 kilometers, we took a detour to get a safe place to stay at this village. That detour was about 9 kilometers. So we went to Ambolgarh, which was, sorry, 7 kilometers is the marking, but 2 kilometers after that as well.
So why we decided to go inside, because there is a Jaitapur, so it is bypassing the actual village like city Jaitapur, and there is no hotels in between it. So for us, it is very stressful to stress this 40 kilometers in the same day. As we heard that in Jaitapur there is a dense forest. Some of our uh, when we actually talk with the fellow cyclist, so he got some foxes over there. So we had decided to detour for only the hotel. So we went inside to the Ambolgarh. So on that road we saw Yashwantgarh Fort. So we have booked a hotel over there. It is kind of homestay. We have spent our lot of time for shooting with the drones. So it was already late to go to the actual beach. So we have decided to see the sunset from their terrace. So we have ended our day fifth here. So day fifth was really hectic day because all the way there is no trees and all it is exposed. At some time we got frustrated that we will take the tempo and we will go directly to the hotel, because on the way there is no trees and all, but somehow we managed to reach the hotel. So they have prepared the delicious food for us. So I came inside little village. So the road is very narrow and little bit scary. So as our homestay owner said that sometimes back they have spotted leopard over here. So for the next day, we thought we will start little bit late. That is after sunrise. So we have decided to start after sunrise on the day 6, as there is not so much kilometers are remaining, so we had decided to start little bit late.
So you can see the bridge. I think this was a drone shot, and that's Manali, who is they were not clear. There's the herd of cattle in front of us. So when one of the cattle, they were not letting us go and not coming in as well. So when Manali saw one of the cattle coming in, there was a funny incident. He actually climbed off on the other side of the railing where there was a huge drop. So I don't have that on camera, but that was very funny for me to see. So this is sunrise again, which was very picturesque. So finally, one bus came and all the cattle got, no, they went to the side of the road. Even the bus had to stop for a couple of minutes.
So this is a Jaitapur. So we are started from here. Just we have to wait for to load. Okay. So here the fishermen trying to pass the fishes from one boat to another.
So yeah, what happens is there's no place to for all the boats to dock. So all the boats line up side to side, and the fishes are passed from one boat to other in the morning when they return. This was very nice, and a view to behold where the colorful boats and the people who are busy.
We had not ate breakfast in the morning because the Puran Poli is now over. So we ate only biscuit in the morning, and we have started almost 15 kilometers for it. For this, we have wait here for our breakfast. So breakfast is not ready. So literally, we have wasted over 30 minutes over here. So the Vijayadurga fort is in background. Still, we are not reached the Sindhudurga or Devgarh region. So we are on the border of Sindhudurga and Ratnagiri.
Manali, one second. I guess Deepak is asking one question. He wants to know what is written on that wall. Deepak Tijori, Deepak Agarwal. Yeah, and Saurabh also. Actually, Deepak, your voice is very low.
This is what they have written that Amba, Kaju, Nara, Supari, like mango, cashews, coconut, all are like कोकण का मेवा. Like when we come to the कोकण, you have to eat all this thing. And फणसासारखी माणसं मतलब जैकफ्रूट जैसे इधर के लोग हैं. सो हम लोग का जो कल्चर है देख के ले लो. So finally the same with day 5, as the road is totally exposed, we are hungry and we are literally dehydrated. We ate golas, tala khatta and all. As we have started a little bit of late, so it was noon, so the sun is on the top. So this is the bridge where which is connect to the Sindhu Durga. This is Amberi Pool. So on that side of that, the Devgarh border starts. So here we thought we will reach on early, and it's near to the Devgarh. So they take this opportunity and started shooting by the drone. So we thought we are going to miss our lunch time at home. So we had decided to eat something. And the day comes. Finally, we reached to Devgarh at near about 2:30. This is my home and how the people are welcoming us. This is my he is my small brother. He gave us trophy to achieve this.
Yeah. So finally, after five 5 days of continuous cycling, I think 6 days of continuous cycling, we reached Devgarh, and we had our cycles were all spent, and these were the drive train photographs after reaching. So we were also, I think there was small, ceremony that happened at a cycle store where we were felicitated as well. And these are some photos of the Devgarh Fort. So after this, I think I have a few shots of uh, ourselves at the Devgarh Fort for the achievement. And on the second day, we went off to the Devgarh fishing village where we saw many things, many fish types of fishes, and we brought home a few fishes as well. So there was one picturesque place called.
Wait, okay. This is the Taramumri beach. Yes, this is Taramumri beach. So it's very clean beach here, and you can see the water is very clear.
And we wanted to visit this with cycle, but our trip ended before that, so we just went there on the second day. And these were a few photographs of the evenings that we took. that was it. And I think this is the final part of the photo. So that was something that we wanted to present to the team. The videos that are there on the YouTube do not make justice to the whole journey, and I think it was more colorful with many adventures hidden inside that journey on a daily basis that we had to face. That's about it.
Very good, Manali, Uday, very good.
Thank you, sir.